sell. You get what I mean? It is said the first success is just behind that rejection you've just gotten. So you may just give up on that rejection. Recently, which client was that? I think, Ketra, you were around. They gave us a number of a difficult client. I knew I was good with closing a sale. That one was a hard one. The number was given to us by her network. So the number was reading Auntie so-and-so. So I had to be munange polite. I also greeted her, good afternoon, Auntie, by the name the person was identified. She seemed this elite of this country. So I'm like, I'm calling you to interest you in a workshop that we have. We got your number from so-and-so. You said you who? Now her tone changed. She was not even quarreling. I'm like, I'm sorry, Auntie. I got your number from so-and-so. I know many people by that name. Who are you? And I mean, are you not the Baferes of Kampala? So she went on, and now she was now quarreling. I had to keep my posture because it would be rude for me to hang up. So I left her still screaming all over the space. Now, to show that she was angry, she even said, I can't hear you properly, let me call you back. She dropped off the call, now called me on another number. It was that serious. She's not intending to buy, meanwhile, she's just intending to quarrel. So I'm like, now that she has even called back, I could tell she was the one because the call came immediately and it was now MTN, but the digits were the same. So I left the call to end, then I called back. So when I called her back, I greeted her again. Yes, ma'am, I missed your call. No, I'm the one you talked to. I'm like, wow, this is serious. She was not about to stay calm anytime. So she's like, now you tell me, who are you? What do you do? What's your name? I don't understand. We buy people we know. And I'm like, yes, ma'am, I understand. So when she said, tell me who you are, I said, now, this is the time to tell this woman everything Precision Hub is. You get it? That's what I did. So because the business part, I could tell from the way she was speaking, she must be someone in the professional field. Now she's getting irritated by me talking business. So I told her, I am the CEO of Precision Hub Consult. Who are we? So I started, we're a program management consultancy firm. Among the things we do, we support agencies in grants proposal writing, totally different from what I was trying to sell here. On top of that, we also do ABCD. So I talked about program management, and suddenly her voice lowered. I could now tell, I think I'm about to close a client on another product. You get? So after that, I'm like, the other chain of our businesses, we have a business development unit. That's the part we have called you about. Where are you located? Now the tone has changed. She's like, now I don't want this one you're selling, but I want you to tell me more about what you just told me. And I'm like, well, those products are A, B, C, D. I am happy to share with you the details. If you can share with me your emails, like, you're surely professional. I'll send you my email now. Do you have somewhere to write? So I closed off a client on another product line, but I could have dropped off that call because she was quarreling. She actually visited yesterday to just confirm, because for her, how come she has not seen us and her organization is on this road? So the moment I described, she came to buy something there, then the logo hit her. She called me and said, I am around your offices. So we sold her all these flyers that we had. She picked off 3 and said, I'll need these 3. Now, what I did not close off with her was a product of 150,000. But we have closed her off at a 1.1 deal. So you could actually fail to close a client because of attitudes. But later I learned that by the time I called her, 10 minutes earlier, they had just told her that her mother's sister had just died. So every strange call she was getting, she was expecting people who are preparing for burial. And then I'm trying to close a sale. You see how cold calling is hard? So in that we call it cold calling. You call someone you don't know. Now those are usually difficult services to close. Now I want us to go back to Jessica's targets of 500 people and ask ourselves, Jessica has 500 clients, but she sells, I think, peanut and then ginat for sauce. Okay, so how many products do you have? Sorry? Like, just give us how many products do you have? We want to use it for example, just for illustration purposes. How many products do you have as a company? 15. So let's assume that from the 15 product chains, and you're selling to 15 people per week. Is this per product?
No, this one is for the other.
For only this one. So let's assume from a 15 product line, they sell to 15 different customers every day. Give me that math. 15 by 15. Now, so, sorry? 2 to 5. Now, in marketing, yeah, if you want to do effective marketing for your products, so we're going to use this, and I'm also going to ask Vicky to just tell us, without giving us the numbers, how many people do you sell to on a good month? How many people do you sell to? About 150. That's a good month. So let's have 150 here and have 225 here. So let's assume June, these were the sales, yeah? What do you want to see change in the next month, yeah? Behind each one of us, there's someone who enjoys the products that we use. This then becomes the role of Jessica and Vicky to say, how many sales do I want to make in July? For each of these people, my friend with the calculator, for each of these people, do a times 5. 225 by 5, another one compute 150 by 5. So this becomes your July target. 1,185, and then this one. You get the numbers. I'm going to explain where the numbers are coming from. I'll eventually go back to what we are doing at the moment. 750. This is 750. From best marketing principles, after you've sold to 225 people in June, it is expected that in July, you should try to sell to 1,125. Yeah? Now, it is also said that out of 120, for every batch of people you talk to about your product, your success blueprint will be 30% most of the time. Give us this 30% of 1,125. 337, eh? Now, because from this, there are those who are already consuming, but they probably don't want to renew this month. But you are talking to them, you are pushing a sale to them. Do for me the computation for 750 as well. Now, because I sold in June 225, July I sell to 337 by the 30% principle. Yeah? 225. Now, every time we sell, yeah, in July, in the first week of August, we get feedback from all these people. How did you like the product? But in the feedback conversation, we again ask them for 5 people they would recommend our service to. Again, the multiple of 5 comes in for August sale. Atimo, you are at it. So multiply 337 by 5. Each time, so it means your business has to get the best version of you at all times. Now, in this database, when you come here, among the things you don't want to sideline, or who are my old customers? Of these, how many are new and how many are old? Yeah? Now, from the how many are old, you continue to send the appreciation message, but you also want to know from the old, why didn't the old people buy from me? So this is where you handle feedback. How do you handle the feedback? We noticed you bought from us the product in June. Is the product still available? Yeah? They probably will tell you, I still have enough. When might you want to replenish? Will you be comfortable? Will you be comfortable with me following up with you in the next 2 weeks? Communication. The charisma with which you close the client is very important. So remember, because what you're providing, you are not God that yours is new and no one else has done it. In you're not communicating, a Moses came from somewhere with a similar product and closed off your clients. And then you were not in touch. You get? So you lost the customer. And you may never know Moses gave them a better experience. How? Probably when they delivered peanut butter that has simsim and granuts, he brought a free ration of 250 grams of plain granuts and told the client, I would like you to also test this one. It's a sample. It's our thank you to you. Might you be interested? The children will love this one. Some children don't like simsim. And I thought you should try this because you've never tried it. Now, for him, he has given a free service that has followed their product. The client will go with this one that even have a free ration. For you, you're only waiting for the one that buys, you're not giving. It is gospel truth. There are places Jesus went. He didn't even preach them the gospel. He gave them free food. So if you're not willing to give something free, you may never sell. You get what I mean? So you have to also be clear, what is that I give free? If I'm in that product chain and schools are about, and I know if the parent has 3 children and we have packed 3 tins, and I can give a free ration of a half a kilogram for every child in that household, or for the parents to remain with at home. Those parents will go marketing you to every other household that has kids, where the strategy is in your creativity. You see, the man of the world says you have to love something enough to give it out. So love your product so much that you can give out a free sample. You get? So if you can't give anyone, also be ready not to receive. You get? There comes a time when we were called to give a talk somewhere. We're giving that talk next week. This person belongs to one of the fraternities I belong to, where we say we give back to humanity. Now, part of our peers that we move with and say we give back to humanity, they give free talks on our meetings. When the guy went to them, said, I want to talk to the young people in a school. They asked him, do we have fuel? And he said, but I thought we serve humanity. It's a school, can you come and serve with me? And they said, no, if there's no fuel, we're not coming. So he sent me an invite and asked me, how do I manage rejections? I'm like, it depends. So it's like, I have a program next weekend, it's with young people, and I would want someone to talk, but everyone needs fuel. And I told him, well, for me, I can come and give you the talk. Yeah? I don't need your fuel. But this is the only thing I'll need from you. Do you have great camera team on site? It's like, yeah, we have a good camera team on site. Can we get a flyer for it? That's all I asked for. Now, I will go and talk to 600 young people. So that's why I'm giving you the prefix that social media can communicate many things sometimes. If someone who may not have known that Carol can talk to 600 young people has access to the photographic evidence, yeah, that there's somehow you talk to 600 people, just come back and write a report on social media. So that's when you come on LinkedIn and just talk about the issues around the young people. You have your photos. Someone will slide by your inbox. How much do you charge? So know at what point you need to market what. At what point do I give it free? Especially as we're in product lines, you're testing yourself out. But you're testing yourself out against people who have built names. You get? So how do you also build a name? So the conversations here are very important. When I lose a client, I'll win the client back. I bet you me. How would I win back my client? I am a Christian. God did not give us the abilities to pray for nothing. You don't buy from me, I pray with you. The other person may not be praying with them. If I gave you a call and said, after 3 months, it's been a while since we were in touch, I get feedback on my product, and then I insist, are you really fine? Let me tell you that question, even if you ask it to the person who looks so fine, everyone has an issue they're grappling with at some point. Learn to pray with people. Even Jesus told Peter, Satan tried to swift you like wheat, but I prayed for you. So for you, why are you not praying for your customers? Pray for and with your customers. My team here can bear us witness. I know there is a God. When they ask me, have you ever met God? I met God by meeting all of you. You get? Because I know there is a God, I went on my knees and prayed for this training. When I was praying for the training, it was an empty room. Now it has people. So if you ask me, is there a God? I will tell you there is a God. You get what I mean? So without even cracking it, when you believe in something that you have not seen, and then you eventually see it, you become my testament of God is there. Now what about the product you see? Why don't you believe in it? When I had just started marketing, to do this work, I would be so afraid of doing the work. I'll look for the one who is better than me. You get what I mean? Then I give out the business. Did that work for me at that time? Absolutely, yes. How? May I come and close off Vicky? Yes? But I'm the one on the front line. So I'll be on, don't disappoint me, my customer, and all that. I'll even be on site. I'm the one on the front line. And that's what people in Kampala are doing. 70%, over 70% of the decoration companies in Kampala, they're not the decorators. That's why many decorations go wrong. The pictures you see are different from the service provider. The guys who usually sit back end doing the work, that is where the owner of the business is. The one that sold to you is not the owner of the business. In the morning, well, we still supplied food as the catering team, but the food came from Owino. Yeah, you get what I mean? Though ours was because it was a design error. But now that's the typical Uganda we live in. That's why they don't pay you 100% until you deliver, because experience has taught people that the service provider may never show up, or they're even never there. We were at a wedding with Alan in Monyonyo. The decorator pitched a good deal, but for small money. Why? Because they were not the decorator. To reach time to deliver on what was in the pictures, they could not because they didn't have all the tools. It is time for the Bagole to come in. The front space where the Bagole should sit is not ready. The flowers are not enough. They're asking them, but the photos you showed us, but the money was little. They were not the ones who did the work before, so they didn't know the cost that needed to go in. Now those lessons we learn and then we do better. Me, I'm interested here. Why are we stuck on 250 if we are really selling 250? Why are we stuck on 150? We are comfortable. Stop being comfortable. I want you to imagine when you work for someone, because all of us have worked for someone or worked for someone at some point. The pressure those people will give you. Why don't you exert that pressure on yourself? You are your own employee, so why are you not putting yourself under pressure? The other side, they will tell you timeline. You will work up to 2 a.m. to beat that timeline. When it is your timeline, you sleep. Why? Are you being fair? Are you being honest? Or you're being a liar? And we also know that liars are only a seed of someone whose name starts with the letter of the alphabet. So you're a liar or you're just the seed of, which would still be the same. The more you lie to yourself about your business, you will close it. You will close it. Now, by personality type, I'm a choleric. So cholerics, we fear failure. Even if the temptation for closing the business is like tomorrow, we don't close. Why? The only thing we fear people saying about us, how do they hear we failed? Now, the other personality types don't fear failure. For them, they will close at the first instance. But for us, we think, everyone here used to do this. If they hear I closed, that's a sign I failed. So that keeps us going. We keep grinding because of that. Now, if I can borrow you anything from cholerics, let me lend you that. Hate failure. As soon as you start something, in your mind, don't even have a construct that Wechigana will walk out of it. No. When you start, stay to shine. Look at the success print 10 years from now. Every time it looks difficult, say, what will it look like 10 years from now? So imagine yourself driving your dream cars, owning structure for your businesses in that time. That should be motivation enough for you to keep going. And that takes me back to why. What is your why? If your why is a plate of food, that why is too small to keep you going. Because if your why is a plate of food, you can play the victim before Good Samaritans in church and they'll buy you a plate of food. You don't need to sell. Your why has to be big enough to keep you going. If I told you my why of why I do Precision Hub up to now, is to be in every continent of the world. Every continent. So the fact that I'm just in Africa, my why is not yet even 10%. Because even Africa yet don't have it. And yet, in my Bible, when I read somewhere, in Psalms 2:1, says, ask me of the nations, and I'll give them unto you as your inheritance, and the ends of the earth as your possession. So why shouldn't I ask him for the nations? He has already told me, and his word is actually always true. So why are you not asking for the nations? These are your nations. Why are you not claiming them? The only thing you pray about is when you're in trouble. Why are you not? This should be trouble enough for you to pray, because your dream is not yet there. Until, let me use Vicky's product to reference it to the Matchbox company. You get? Tell me of a household that does not use a matchbox. Let me move from the matchbox. Tell me of a household that doesn't know Coca-Cola. You think Coca-Cola didn't start like you and I? You think they started from being everywhere? But if you've read the story of the guy of Coca-Cola, his dream was to be known in every household around the world. Are they believers like you and I? Everyone now, when they have doctored products, beverages, they want to liken it to Coca-Cola. But the guy had a dream of being in every household. And the reason I like competition, growing up, we all knew Blue Band to be that yellow margarine. I was in utter shock to start seeing peanut butter being written on Blue Band. You get? Competition even made it worse. Chocolate spread found itself from South Africa in Uganda. Blue Band produced chocolate spread. It's the same company. But why did it take them that long? Competition. Someone showed an alternative that can go on bread. So when people find alternatives for your product, what do? Do you close out? Because we have seen businesses close out. But I know one man in the Bible whose closeout was he had fought a good fight up to the finish line. Your finish line is legacy. What legacy are you building? So you grind at this every day. Now, I am using this benchmark for you to go back in your mind. That's the conversation I am hoping you're having. That how many people did I sell to last month? Have I sold them this month? And today is only the 13th day. You still have a whole half of the month to yourself. You can still sell to all of them. Have you contacted them? Sanjoy, when you sold to us, did you even call us to find out how your product was? Those are mistakes we make in business because we think the people are our friends. Let me tell you, our friends are the hardest people to sell to. Because the friends already know that there's what they call feedback management. Now you're selling to Kara. You know that part of sales, you need to manage feedback. You didn't call me. But this guy is not serious. I think he's taking me for granted. So that pride of friends, I'll go and buy from a supermarket. But your product will have been good enough for me to consume. And that's what has happened to us for all the customers that didn't come back. Among the reasons they didn't come back, you didn't come back to them. If you are into fresh foods, like my brother here, how many times do you sell back to the same clients? Just to make sure I have consistency that all my 225, first of all, I have them without losing them. What do you do? Let me tell you, business is like courting a young girl to say yes to you. But if you don't continue courting her in the marriage, you will lose her. So you have to court your customers consistently, not to lose them. We will celebrate your customers. It will be that one customer that you even didn't want to celebrate. They have taken long without buying from you, but you want to win them back. After you've done all your massive sales, that's the customer you send a free sample. And that's when you start calling customer, give back. And you make sure that's when social media gets to know you give back to your long-standing customers. Would you be the one to want to eat someone's product you last bought from 6 months? You will place the next order for next month. Because sales, we buy emotions. Selling is emotions. There's nothing else. 85% is emotional selling. You get what I mean? Because there are many people doing granaries like you're doing, and all the other 15 products you do. But what makes you different from them? Why does it have to be me and not the other person? I say this because we are all Christians in this room. We have mastered only one script. If I pray, it's done. Prayer alone, my dear, will not put food on your table. We shouldn't turn God into a magician. And that's what many believers have done. So we are fighting with a vision, but we are not moving to where the vision is. It's what I said earlier, that God is there looking at St. Joy with a series of tea beverages, looking at St. Joy with a tea outlet where people just drive by and pick a drink. St. Joy is here with his 2 pieces, but the vision is there. He's excited to tell the world about the vision. Don't tell us about the vision. For us, we want to see the products. So start moving from where you are, go where God is. And we go where God is by selling every day. Every day sell something. Every day sell something. You will close someone. Now the numbers that have worked for us, this is our experience for both product and services. For every 20 people you talk to, you might just sell to 1. For every 20 people. It's actually documented in the profit first principle that I shared about earlier, that over 100 people that you come to talk to about a product, 15% will be willing to buy from you immediately. Those are emotional people. Whatever they see they like, they buy. 15% will, and that's the 15% when they're the right customers. Another 15% are willing to buy, but in the future. That's where we get the 30% from. You get what I mean? 60% care less about what you're telling them. They have enough troubles to even think about what you're telling them. So that's why we focus on the 30%, the one that is willing to buy now, and the one who is willing to buy in the future. Now, if you don't quote the one of the future, it's trouble. Someone else is meeting them. Now, the challenge comes if the one who was in the future is met by 1 person, 2 people from different companies. If they are a Christian like Carol, they may just think, what is God saying to me? This is the 3rd person. They will buy from the 3rd person. So you'd have lost that customer. So you don't have to wait when someone says, I think check on me in October. For me, checking on you in October will be to close the sale. But between now and October, I am courting you all throughout. So marketing and business is about courtship. It's a marriage relationship throughout. Court me until you're tired. You get what I mean? So don't give up. Now, that product you have, also don't be the business people that jump around because you had candles work. You leave this room today and you've jumped on candles. But you came here when your vision was different. That's why we started with the basics in the beginning. What is your identity? Do you know your identity? If you ask her, she has her framework already. She knows I want to get into this, and that. Do you know your identity? Or your identity can be lost in someone else's identity, because we see that all the time. Because bagambye kino kifuna kiralu, you run with that one. Then you reach there and you realize techifuna kiralu, like they told you. Then you jump out. Then you go back, and by the time you go back, you've lost the customers. They have gone to someone else. Be consistent. Sales is about consistency. Now, among the things you need to appreciate, I make it sound like it is easy. But I also need to let you know that it is not easy. Why is it not easy? Because it's emotions. Because sales is emotions, you have to first of all study the temperaments of your customers. You also need to see how does your temperament match with theirs. But most of them, you don't even know them. Do you realize that when you go to CJs, it is purely emotions they are playing with? First of all, they attach you one person to serve you throughout. And when they come, they're smiling. Then they have a name. That's already identity. You don't plan to buy plantain. Yeah? But they're asking you, do you mind plantain? It's the reason when I move with my kids, I place the order and close it. Eh? Because as soon as they mention plantain, my son will say, that one I'll have. Then they mention something else. Mommy, they should also bring mayonnaise. Each of those things they're adding are priced. Before you know it, your bill is higher than what you had, what was on the menu. Now, for you, when they order one product, you don't ask, might you also care to take this? The lady I referenced who does a clothing line, you'll order for one dress. Yeah? She'll send like 15 that she has. Now, the fact that they've sent you all, you're going to try all. Eh? And because sales is emotions, they look nice, you will buy. Don't send one. I mean, you've sent the boda guy is already there. And besides, the boda guy is going to be paid and is coming back on site. Send all your products. They will come back if they don't take them. Trust me, an extra product will be taken. Don't go with only one item. That's how you increase your sales. And that's why we said don't have only one product line. Have a number of items that you can sell. Are we together? I hope we are going to sell better in the next 5 months. That when we check out on you, by next month, we'll say, I increased my sales by 50%. Closing sales was difficult, but I'm more confident. I think next month it will even be better. Now, another thing I need to add, because of the kind of things we do. WhatsApp is very nice. Viewing WhatsApp, those statuses is also very good. But it steals time. Really, no, the moment you start statuses, before you realize it, it's an hour gone, and you've done nothing but just view statuses. And of which you have not even commented. And now it will be worse for those of us who have a tendency of building unpopular friends. That's when you go on the status, then you notice they posted something. Then you go and view, and the status wants to try to communicate like they were talking about you. Then you mess up your own emotions in the process. You see, they are so mad. They've even posted about me. They have not even mentioned your name, but the message wants to resemble. It's even worse when they quote scripture. This one, they quoted it for me. You get what I mean? So if you want sanity in the markets, please control status engagements. I post it there to sell. Get out after you're done. Why are you even visiting? How many have viewed? Because sometimes you're visiting how many have viewed, then you realize your friends have viewed and did not comment. Then also that alone annoys you. You get, eh? They don't care about me. And worse still, if they posted a product they bought that resembles what you sell, you will be frustrated. May I believe social media was created to frustrate more than do business. But we can choose the good it can do for us. If you can redeem that 1 hour you use for WhatsApp, yeah, and use it to sell, my friends, you'll be somewhere. On my team, I've studied the strength of everyone. There are those, they're happy in their cocoon, they will do nice things. But I know they're supposed to step out someday and go and lead. So if they don't start now talking to people, who will be in trouble. So those ones, you assign them the hard tasks of where they need to talk to people, where you're also part of. They have no choice because it's an accountability. They get better by that day. I know one of them is now getting annoyed, wondering that's why I was given that task. And they're actually doing a good job, because after they posted, part of the feedback I got from our critical stakeholder said, I'm impressed. That lady hardly talks. So she's the one managing that profile. Like, yeah, she's the one managing the profile. Like, yeah, that was wisdom. I'm like, okay. So that's feedback. So you see, just one person posting, it sent people to come and peep. What is she saying? Because they know she never posts. You get? And for me, the fact that our critical stakeholders on that platform, all of them commented about that one person commenting, that's a strategy I can't stop now. So it means after graduating from a group that has 100-something people, we graduated to a group that has 500, and she just has to keep talking and talking and talking. You see, the more you talk about something, the confidence. You build confidence. The more you talk about this water, you start making people feel like it's a natural juice. The more you talk about it. But when you don't say anything about it, you compare it to another product. You just need to talk about you. Because if today you just talked about the shape, and the other day you talked about the branding, then the other day you talked about the graphics, and name it, it becomes unique, it starts making beauty, having beauty in your face. So what do you talk about your product? Do you talk about it once a week? Once a month? You see, I know of business people. They're in business. They don't post themselves on their statuses, but they post their friends' businesses on their statuses. What is your friend's business doing on your status instead of you on your status? You haven't met them. Me, I've met them. You haven't. We live in different worlds. I am happy. So if you are even part of my team and all you market is Precision Hub and you don't market yourself, you're wasting time. You're killing legacy. I like to tell my team that because me, I have not hired you to stay. I've hired you to grow. Grow and get out. Because we are a school. When you get out, new students will come. So that we can go and populate the world with all this good out there. Because whatever you learn here, you also go and do it out there. You get? Now, marketing, back here. Now, we're going to set ourselves targets. You get? For this, you will not give us in this meeting. But by Monday, please share this back with honest figures, because you're going to have us as your accountability partners. We don't want to have sat here. Those who are already in business, I think those who are already in business, I know Bezalite is here. I know Senjo is here. I know Jessica Of course, there is another name. And then I also know Vicky is here. I want us to, after here, take yourself and your business, you and your business, to a meeting. Do you get what I'm talking about? Take yourself and your business, Moses, to a meeting. This is now you having personal reflection with your business. Talk to the business using numbers. Let your business also talk back to you in numbers. Because probably you're the one talking to the business 150. For the business, it's talking 1,500. And you're the one telling it, I want you at 150. For it saying, I want to be at 1,500. Take yourselves to a meeting with all your product lines and tell yourself, how do I sell you? That business has ears. That's how far believers we be. We take our businesses to meetings and we talk to each other. It will tell you in August, this is what I want to do. Not for you, for the legacy it is supposed to build. It's until you take yourself out of the business and you become a partner in the business, can the business start talking to you. It will tell you what it wants to do in September. It will tell you what it wants to do in October, in November, in December. Now, the reason why we're picking this half of the year, for each of our products, there's what they call peak seasons. If I deal in products like the one that Vicky does, when I take myself to a meeting, I need to have thought through Christmas, what do I want to sell? And how many and to who? This is where you want to partner with agencies that do gift hampers. The marketing for gift hampers starts now. This is where I want to get into gift hampers. Now, gift hampers may require partnerships. Yeah? You take no offense in doing gift rations if you bought, if you bought bread into your gift hampers, if you bought soda into your hampers, and dropped in your peanut butter. They will still buy everything that is in that hamper, but you'd have sold your product. Vicky, this is the time you want to give back coupons, leisure coupons to agencies. If you went and partnered with a spa, said, can we get into a partnership? For everyone who comes to the spa for treatment, they go away with a candle, a scented candle. So you're doing advertising, the two of you. Now your price would have the candles in it, it would have the therapy in it, it would have a talk to it. So think through your products. There's so much you can do with the product already in its current phase. Now I've only picked December. So you can choose it as a whole holiday package running from November to January. Seasons. So you would know in this season, this is how much I want to make. If I'm into advertising, because the likes of Vicky, Jessica, Bezalite services will be required. You get? This is when Bezalite provides a just tell them 25% off. You see people read 25% off. They are not asking themselves 25% off of what? It's just a marketing language. Because what looks like 25% of nothing has actually been reduced. You could most likely be buying actually higher, but it looks like in marketing, I can still have a price of an item reading 600,000. No one read the original price anywhere. But it will just read originally 750, now 600. It's a marketing language. That's when you want to tell them, Alebad is this, normal pricing is this. It's a marketing language. So adopt all that within your product chain. Probably you haven't been using it. The other piece that I can also encourage, when you're a one-man business and you're the CEO, you're the product designer, you are the marketeer, don't try to be what Jesus was not. Even Jesus, to spread the gospel, he needed the 12. Get volunteers on your team. Have clear terms for your volunteers. Look at what makes profit for you. Discuss what percentage they can work with. Make sure the terms are clear. Take care of communication like you would if you were the one doing it. Allow people help you push the product forward. What does that help you with? There are places Jesus would not have reached on his own without the 12. But with the 12, he could go places with the same message. Get your 12. So 12 is a very figurative number. I'm not saying get exactly 12, but get the identity of the 12. You get what I mean? Get the identity of the 12. Let people market you. Don't be the type that says, if I give people my thing, they will copy it. Why you copy the Bible? Like, so if they don't copy you, then you're going to sell to you alone in your bedroom. You get? Don't feel like for you, your idea is just for me. There are certain details about your business your team may not have to know about. You get? That can be your secret recipe or whatever to the result. But let people know your product so that they can market you better. I've been in businesses where you ask, so give me more about this product. And it's her. That one you talk to boss. Then you try the next one. That one you talk to boss. Everything you talk to the boss. So when the boss is sick, business cannot continue. Because the one who has the energy to push the thing, he's on rest. And not intentioned rest, but forced rest because of circumstances. Put your product out there, let your team shine. Many of you seated in this room, apart from, I think, Vicky. I didn't reach out to any of you. Someone else reached out to you. But when the idea was being conceived, it came from probably me being somewhere, taking myself to the meeting with the business. Then I brought back the results of that meeting to the team, and then they ran with it. So now, you've become my social capital. That now I can also walk away and forget about the person who actually brought you here, and I'll be texting you directly. You get? Now you can do that for your business. A gentleman, I think he's in media, the gentleman we talked to, who came the other time, he shared with me a marketing secret that they use, and I said, wow, I never thought about it that way. And he says it has worked for them. He said how they use casuals or volunteers is this. They get you, they give you back 50% of the profit. Now, the reason why he said he gives back 50% of the profit is because you sold for him his product. Now you're his database. After that, he's the one in conversation with you. He will not be, the other person who sold will not be remembered on that chain. So it is now his role to sustain you, so he pays you well on the other side. So because of that, he has sold more, because not everyone gives 50% of the profit. And I said, oh wow, every day there is someone crafting out of brilliance. And he has one of the fastest growing stationery chains in the city. Now, the strategy that may work for Carol may not be the one that will work for you. But I also like to tell people, while we say dream big in your business, be a planner. The reason why we don't follow up our trainees the first week after the training and the second week after the training is one. After this meeting, most likely someone will be excited. Of like, I can run with this thing, I can run with this thing. Why? Because it's emotions. Tomorrow we'll hear that someone has gone and rented a space as big as this without, first of all, getting all the background facts of how did we eventually get to where we are today. Then after they have gotten there, then they say, we met motivational speakers. No, you didn't meet a motivational speaker. You became your own motivational speaker because you spoke other things in your head that were not said. This is the time to go back and reflect and say, so where am I? You see the fact that fear is still in the head, you're not yet there. So probably by the time we got here, we first graduated from fear of 2 years. But now we are giving you a script that can move you away from fear of like first document it. First start talking to people. If you want to give up on a product, start marketing what you don't have yet. You get what I mean? In your head, there are people now who are planning so many products. There's someone who's been already thinking, I think I can do the talking. I think I can even talk better than she's talking. So I think I can do the talking. That can also bring money. Then you get out of here, you contact Bezalite, they do you a flyer. A public speaker. The photo is everywhere, the rates are there. Then you post your public speaking engagements. Every day you just get status viewers. Then those who will black and say, good job, well done, I knew you could do this. Those ones will also be there. Then they will never buy from you. Because the season we are going through, where we are heading, December period, is where people have had a long time, frustrated in work. Organizations are hiring for speakers to come and speak. So that's the time we also market ourselves very fast. That's the time businesses are also reflecting what will next year look like. They will hire our services very fast. Now, as all these things are going through, I want you to begin thinking, which other holiday do we have mine as a Christmas holiday in the second half of the year? I think we have Independence, right? Apart from Christmas. Before Christmas, there's another holiday in there. No. Before the year end, Independence. Now you should begin asking yourself, what do I want to sell on Independence? What package can I give? How should it turn out? Like, don't go solo. Which other service can sell with me my product? If I sell products like Vicky's product, I want to sell it where jewelries are because they will buy them. I want to sell it where exquisite clothing lines are, they will buy them. You get what I mean? So think through, where can I take my product and it is sold? Yeah? If I deal in beverages, where can I take pastry shops? They will buy my product because it complements tea. Peanut butter, pastry shops, they will buy, it complements tea. Don't say, me, I want my shop, mine. That mine mentality is the reason we can't grow rich. If you went into the city, a shop, I think a quarter of this, can have like 6 business people inside. They are coexisting in that small space, but you want your mega shop. Because our God is mega, yes. Let's move baby steps. We'll get there. Don't fear baby steps. And when the baby steps come, don't eat the children of the business. Because the profit is just 8K, 10K, you're like, but it's even little. I make more. No, don't eat the children of the business. The things I am telling you are some of the mistakes we made. You get, we ate the business, its children and its grandchildren. You eat even the capital. Then you start thinking a loan, but you've been in business. I am one of those people who does not tell people you need a loan to expand your business. Those are emotions taking you to get a loan. You want the loan for what? It's emotions taking you to get the loan. If you can't manage that 100,000 a business, you think you can manage the loan, you will eat the loan as well. Because after you have put in the loan, you think you're making profits. But you're not making profit, you're making back the liability to pay it. So after the loan is done, you're more stressed than when you got it. Because taking a loan in a business, this is when banks will shut some of us up. But taking a loan in business is like trying to do business for the agency that you've done what? You got the loan for. Because the pressure you work with, loan, so you're no longer working the business, you're working for the loan. But you can do different. Never underestimate the power if you sold every day of 8,000. This is the one I'm going to use, but I'm going to try to round it to. Yeah, let me maintain 8,000. Never underestimate the power of 8,000 in profit every day. It means every 10 days your profit is 80K. So meaning every month your profit is 240. So if you multiply this by 12, someone with a calculator. 2 points. Multiply this by 15. The same figure multiplied by 15.
It's
43 million. Okay, let's just leave it at 43 million. What this tells us that for every 8,000 sold, every day diligently, for each of the 5 products, 15 products, when you have sold to only one person, mind you, will make you 43 million. If you do not eat the children of the business, that if you can see the value of 8,000 giving you 43 million, you'll be diligent. But we're talking about 8,000. And when you think about the 8,000, it's not motivation enough for you to go to work every day, right? But does December close when you have 43 million in your account? Why? Because you've eaten the business. Now imagine you are not only selling to one person every day. Now let's just imagine you sold to 2 people every day. It will be twice this amount in December. Wouldn't it be more exciting if you sold to 10 people every day? This by 10 would be 430 million. In profit, not capital. Wouldn't this open another business chain with 8,000? $2. And yet, it is said, statistics has it that an average Ugandan, 50% are around $1 a day, and the rest below. Now that's your money. That's your money. Now to sell to 10 people every day, you just need 3 lazy sales executives. By lazy, I mean lazy to every word of it. Like they are lazy enough to just sell to one person. And yet you've given them a percentage that for every one person you sell to, I give you 50% of my profit. If you use the other person's model, it means these people, in their laziness, they make you half of this amount every year, each of them. You get, in their laziness, they'll make you half of this every year. If you have 10 of them, you will still sleep comfortably and business is shining, but you're having a lazy team. But now you want to turn them into rock star salespeople, where systems are now built. So we are going to allow ourselves to pretend like we're the lazy salespeople. Lazy enough to own a sale for me to 3 people every day, Vicky. Like every day. 3 people. I trust enough that in your database, from those who already buy from you, they will buy. So when we talk about this is why I've given this preamble. What do we call every day? Every business has a different meaning of every day. There is every day that is actually every day, which is daily. There is a product of every day, which is weekly. There is a product of every day that is monthly. There is a product of every day that is quarterly. There's a product that is biannual. There is a product whose every day is annual. So we're going to share with you these templates so that you're able to define, yeah? What is your daily, yeah? When we said daily, how many independent sales? So if you say, let's say daily 30, of your 15 product lines, Jessica, which ones go for daily? So if you were, in your product line, you had bread. For instance, let's say I work for Senjoy, and all Senjoy has are beverages. How can Senjoy increase his sales? A room of this size, if you were on Entebbe Road, would cost you about 1 million. If Senjoy could sit 4 tables of this size, for people to just come and take tea. You get what I mean? How many people would Senjoy sell off his tea to? You get what I mean? Now, on that same spot, Senjoy doesn't have to be the one making bread. You will partner with the bakeries, they give you bread. So where there is bread, tea will move. He doesn't have to be the one making granuts. He just needs to partner with Jessica to deliver the granuts. All Senjoy is selling is his tea. You see, I was telling people, a mystery I learned about the first miracle Jesus performed. It humbled me. I'm writing a business script out of that miracle of water into wine. I'm writing a business script out of it. This is what I learned. That the Jesus, me I know, and I don't know if you also have the same Jesus, but the one me I have adds value to my product. Because in my history, I used to take my wines in my history before now. But I know that if Moses is the supplier of water, a jerry can of water, market price in my community here is how much? 500. If it's very expensive, it is 1,000. It is said they filled drums. A drum needs about 6 jerry cans of water, 5 to 6 jerry cans. But this man called Jesus, he turned all those drums. I want you to draw a picture of a winery somewhere. How much wine goes into a bottle? It is not your jerry can full. But by the time you buy that wine, if you buy Bailey's, it's 120,000. But the water that has gone in that drum is less than 3,000. And now you're buying 200 and it's about 2 liters. 2 liters, you're buying it at 120,000. So me, the businesswoman in me, I went into the miracle place. I drew all the drums with water. And I said, Kale, these people were not serious. They had a man who can change value of 500 jerrycan of water to that amount of what a winery would have. Now, why wouldn't I take my meeting to a business meeting with him? So that he can refine me. Joseph, you would not be jumping, stressed, trying to sell your coffee of 10,000, 20,000. Vicky loves her tea. Vicky will come here and tell you, can my candles be on the table where people are taking teas from? Immediately, Vicky becomes a business partner. While people like the candles, they are at the counter being sold as people are going away with their cups of tea. I would have walk-away teas. So those who are going to office, they can have their disposables. I would be the very one supplying all the teas at the church and the neighboring churches. My products will be selling there, but I'll be referring them. That's how I transition my tea joint to an events management space. I only do tea for events. We don't need you to make the modalasini for us. But you will bring modalasini on the market. Because you're not going to sell only your products. You're going to buy the other products. But imagine you sold tea to all these people that are seated here. A cup of tea, by cup of tea I mean water and a beverage. After, are they going to take the tea without anything? I don't have to be a chapati maker. I'll partner with the one making chapati if I'm lazy to hire a chapati maker. The chapati person is doing business, I'm also doing business. So because I'm doing business with a chapati person, they have to have a percentage that contributes to my rent. So you don't need so much capital to start. The first capital you need is your brain and then your social capital. And run. Like the one who says no to you is your next motivation to go to the next. Actually, the client that says no, ask them, now that you're not buying, can I know your reasons for not buying? It's part of the marketing script we'll go through in August. Ask them, why are they not buying? They'll tell you, maybe I don't have the money. So do you really like the product? And you would buy if you had the money? They would most likely tell you yes. Can I believe God with you? That you'll get the money soon. But as we're believing God, do you mind giving me contacts of 5 people in your network that I can reach out to? Pack that one for later. There are in the other 15% that would buy from you, but they are not yet decided. The more people talk to them. Now what you do, that number, if you have a marketing team, you give it to the marketing team. They will call them 3 weeks later. They're still talking about the same product. The more some people buy from us to get rid of us. But after their plan to get rid of us fails, and they have bought, then they like us. Then they come back to us. You get, those ones are also there. So play the mind game, because like we said, selling is emotions. Mistakes in marketing I have seen. When we are selling to our friends, we tell them all the trouble we go through in the business. My dear, the other one is a customer. They are not supposed to know your issues. That's when you tell them all the family issues you have. That's not the time. You're spilling too much of your beans. You're putting the dirt out. Your purpose there is to sell. Differentiate the friendship from the selling process. No one cares about your problems because for them, all they're seeing, you're taking money from them. So you're now telling, you want them to also play the role of a psychologist in your space? No, they're not the counselor at that time. Sell and go. Sell and go, manage the rest later. And stay happy throughout. In part of the marketing script that we talk about, it costs you nothing to smile. But also smile where it is worth it. Depends on the product you're selling. You may smile in the wrong place when the product didn't really require you to smile. But close it off. The most important thing for you to do is close. Now, if I want to make this money that we talked about, I'm interested in the 43 million that came from 8,000. Because for me, if you give me 43 million, and I only want to have one sales executive to make me this money, and in December you can give me the guarantee that I have this money from 8,000. Moses, me, I have arrived. Like in my head, my issues, because in my head, I don't have a product that gives me profit of 8,000. So already I'm looking at the success print from what if they are selling what I have. I'm already seeing my $2 million script fitted properly in this narrative by the end of the year. Now, I also want you to have that crazy number. Like I said, no one from this team is going to call you next week or the week after. Because the fear you came with before today will be back after 2 weeks. That's when we shall come back to you. Monday, you're still in this, they said it is workable, it's doable. So we have to allow fear to come back. Your default setting has to come back. And we said, now can we move? Now, what is our role in all that? You need a push factor. Someone that pushes you. So you do it just to get rid of me, because one of the options you don't have is to buy a new line, because that's your business line for now. So you'll have to accommodate me for the next 6 months, and before you know it, we have become friends because your business is thriving. And for us, that's our satisfaction. Because we were not called out for the big businesses. We are called to return hope to the small and medium businesses. That's why you'll not find us trying to cost the workshop at 2.1, like it's being costed when you go to Serena. And they'll still talk to you, either to the same measure or even less. Now, when we come back here, among the business nuggets, I will tell you when you're closing it, don't go to sale when you're looking miserable. They will negotiate you to the value. As soon as you show up, someone will be like, but this one, even if I give them 10,000, they're okay. That's why you come with a product as a marketer and you say the product is 100,000, and then the buyer says, "Mutwalo toitao." They have valued you, like we said, they buy you before they buy the product. They have valued you at 10,000. For them, when they looked at you from head to toe, they saw at 10,000 or itao. So I'm not saying go and get all the bling bling, like look so out of place. No. Be exquisite enough. So how do you add value to yourself? Research about the client before you go. You see that the mistakes marketing teams make, which is different from how our teams will market with you. They don't start at the product. They start at you. You are the first priority. They will ask you questions like, is this a good time to talk? Most of the marketing teams you see moving about with products, as soon as they see, they'll tell you, Mama, onokula. Neka no tuinayo. Like, be different from those ones. It's first them, then the product. Show the buyer that they're the most important script before your product. But at the back of your mind, it is your money I want. It's your pockets that I'm in at that time. I am not here. All the rest you're seeing is I'm managing the emotions. But after, It's your wallet. I'm actually counting from your wallet already. I am not even thinking that you don't have it. The fact that you're listening to me, you have it. You may not have it now, but you're in my 15% that has it, and you will buy. Like I said, call them. Moses, call. Don't even be afraid to say, I've called this person 5 times and they're not picking. Call. And I will not change numbers to call you. I'll still call you on the same number. Don't switch the contact and say, maybe it's and they will pick. No. Use the same number. Call, text, WhatsApp. Call. Some, they'll pick up and shout at you. It's okay. It's their communication. And still don't hang up. Allow them scream. Don't hang up, because when you hang up, it's a scripture thing. Silence is golden. So I like to talk about silence in many things. You can sell in silence without even talking, and you're sold. If I come to you today, I've greeted you, you respond. Then I send you a flyer. Then you don't respond. It's okay. I will come back again. I'll greet you for another phase. I'll bring a new flyer. You don't respond. Then I'll pick a phone call. Does my flyer bother you? They'll most likely say yes. I feel bothered. I'm like, well, that's who I am. And the goodness I give you that you like comes because of this flyer. So now that it bothers you, can you refer me to 5 people in your network that will not be bothered? They have given you their social capital. Be grateful. Don't go whining about. Sell, sell, sell. Sell in your sleep. Sell when you are awake. Sell. How do you sell in your sleep? Your status has run for about 24 hours. There are people who random pick phones. Status viewers of midnight, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. They're there. Post that last status update at 11:30 before you get off social media. That's now the time when many are so bored. And they are fresh enough to even read your content compared to afternoon. Line up your status updates then. If you will attest to this. Every status item you post from 11 to 2 a.m., they get the first viewers and the highest viewers. Why? Between the wake-up time up to 8, everyone is on their statuses viewing something. Some are on the road going to work, so they are bored. Everyone is seeing something. The one you post at 2 in the afternoon has the least viewers. So you have to study the peak time of what do I advertise where and how. Now, probably the last one, and I'll take questions. People don't buy groups. Let me emphasize that. Whoever crafted the mystery and told people market on groups was only setting us up for a trap. However big the group is, we sell to relationships. Be in the group, go to their inbox. Belong to the group as your business directory. Go to their inbox. Don't say, I don't know them. Then why are you on that group? Because most of us belong to the group, so we only know the admins. You're not trying to sell to the admins. If you are trying to sell to the admins, you already have their contacts. Then exit the group. They are taking up your bandwidth for nothing. And again, some of us belong to too many groups, and we don't know why we are there. If you don't know why you're in the group, exit the group. It's not serving the purpose for which you're there. I have a philosophy: if I can't sell to you, and I can't sell to your networks, and we belong to the same group, then I'm in the wrong group. I may be the one who is lost, or you're the one who is lost. But clearly the lost one is me who is failing to sell. So why is it that people don't buy groups? If you're in a food product and you're in a group and you can't sell to at least 20 members of a group that has over 100 people, there is a problem. 20. Because all these people here, when they go back, they're buying food items. Why are they not buying from you? Like, why are they not buying from you? And they're driving to another butcher and buying meat from there. Why not you? Sell, sell, sell until you feel like you're selling air. Sell. Like, sell with the last drop of blood in you, like I said. Because every day we are selling. Every day we are selling. You see, even when you are the preacher on that pulpit, for those who are preachers, even when you climb on that pulpit, you're selling yourself. That's why after we are comparing you to the other preacher or to the other interpreter, you're selling yourself. So sell something. And that something starts with you. For the young people that have been around me, they know that I'm going to tell you, you go back and change that shirt. You go back and change that shoe. You're selling. That's what I'm buying at that time. At some time, some get angry. But eventually they got used. That as soon as they show up, I look from up to down, then up. You've sold. It means if I fail to buy your appearance, I'll not buy your products. However beautiful, however spirit-filled your product is. Because as Christians, you've learned to tell us that this that I'm giving you, it has been incubated in the presence of the Holy Spirit. My dear, who said another incubated it in here? It's all Holy Spirit filled, according to their understanding of the Holy Spirit anyway. You get what I mean? So sell and don't be timid. Don't fear like you stammer with your product. It's yours. You see, your product is, take your product to a mirror challenge. Be your product's mirror and talk to your product the way you talk to yourself in a mirror. Don't speak in future tense. God calls Abraham a father of nations before he even fathered one. Now you're telling your product, you will be. No. Your product is you dominate. You're perfect. You're amazing. What you say about your product is what people will say about your product. You get what I mean? So what are you saying about your product? What you've been saying about your product is how you sold from January to June. Sell different. You can sell differently. You can. Why I know you can is because you took the first step to start it. The most difficult thing is to start. But after you've started, there is a voice that wants you to stop. And that voice is surely not the voice from God. It's another voice. Because the other one is killing. So it's the killing voice that is speaking to you. And then you're convincing us that God has told me to stop a bit. Like sometimes I hear nuggets from believers and I'm like, wow, I think our Holy Spirit is different. Because when I read about theirs, it's different because theirs told them, you know, umulako. You people, like even the guys in the gospel, where did you find them saying, Batugambye to umuleko amid this adversity? They persevered. So persevere in your selling, Vicky. I met a person once in one of our trainings. Her greatest problem was her employers didn't like her to advertise her products on her status, that she was wasting company time. And I told her, now that they don't want to advertise, put it as your profile picture. Now you're not putting on their status. So it's your profile picture. It's your number, unless it's a company number. But if it's your personal number, you can use any profile picture you want. She said, Karen, I'm like, just put it. And when they tell you, just tell them this is my personal number. But for the office line, if you buy it for me, I'll put anything else you want. Now she's thriving with her business. The same ones who were talking now are not talking. So you have to overcome the fear. So overcome that fear. And also, like, why do you meet her and you don't tell her about Bezalite? You assume she knows. Sometimes you even ask them, you didn't know. It was on my status. Who told you they viewed your status? They don't know. So don't assume. Because you assume, that's why you get annoyed with people. Because they're not buying from you, but you didn't tell us. And if you meet a person like me, I want you to tell me. Because I have to ask you my questions, because I ask many questions. That's why Elijah asked you so many questions yesterday. Because yes, I see the status, it's okay. But me, you have not sold to me. Tell me about your product. So we are going to step out to start telling people about our products. You see, we have about, minimally, I don't think there's anyone in this room who has a contact list of less than 50 people. Not so. Start with your 50. Like, try it the first week, 10 every day. Buy data bundles to be cheap. Buy data bundles of 10K. Sell to those 50 people this week. That fear will disappear because rejection from people who know you, it is serious. It will sober you up. You now sell to anyone. You know why? Because our families reject us first. Our friends reject us first. So after you're being rejected by your own, like Christ was rejected by his own. So you want different, but you're his followers. So you have to also be rejected by your own. Then you go out to the Samaritans and they will buy from you. And trust me, it's going to be well. I say that it is going to be well because it has been well with us. I guess we got used to selling because for us we sell every day. Even when the proposal is successful, we get to big panels like these ones here. Oh, this one is my boss. She's my boss in other spaces. You get on that call, and she doesn't know you anymore. Like she's asking you the tough questions, and I'm like, after this call, like we're going to be friends, or like what are we going to be doing? You get it? So I get on this call, and then she's firing you questions left, right, center, and then you've even stammered on the call. You're not sure, why have I done well? A part of you wants to even abuse that space and say, now, I think I should check on her to find out if I did a good job. But then you remember, no, that's another professional space. You can't do that. Then you keep yourself together. You don't ask the question, but you want to know. Even want to go to their inbox and greet them, but not to sell any other product, but to confirm, did I make it? Yeah? Now, if you can have such networks that can push you another mile, and you are mature enough to handle a rejection when it comes. You see, many of us, the challenge we have in sales, that day we try to sell to your network, and then they tell you failed and another one was successful, we block that one. Please understand that rejection is a positive thing. Find out why they chose the other person and not you, and make your product better. Are we together? And trust me, it is possible. It's possible. Our very first proposal, so I'll use us as an example, not literature. I'm going to give you the number of rejections because I have them in my head. Our very first proposal that was successful after us, like a person like her, she understands the proposal writing processes we go through. So you need about a whole week to write a good proposal to a client. We were rejected 97 times. Of the 97, we defended 20. And you know, after you've defended, it feels like you're closer to the 97 proposals. Another consultant would have not continued. But every time the ones we defended said no to us, I called to find out why they chose us over the other person. So we kept improving our proposals. And my dear, if you're a believer, you'd say then that doors opened. When we got our first win, our very first proposal that won was international. It wasn't even Uganda. So we said, oh, maybe Uganda is not our space. You see, international people are even taking us. Our second win was also international. Our vapor now went up. So when we started now writing our proposals with success in other countries, Uganda started buying us. And then we started inheriting in the lands where we had served. Now we are able to dream 15 countries, but from 97 rejections in my own country. That was one product line. Now let me give you another. We have a product we give out on Women's Day, where we talk to ladies based on a theme we feel that day. We advertised massively, the very first one. It wasn't even expensive. Julius, how much was it? I think 100 and something there. The hotel where we had taken the service, the food alone was 90,000, meaning we are only making 10,000 from it, minus the room that we had to pay for. There's what they call false impressions. We got 30-something people in the room, but to get the 30-something people in the room, we talked to 600 people. So those are the number of rejections you have there to get the 30 in the room. Of the 30, how many were my networks? I think 5. The rest took a gamble and just came. Then they liked us. Then the fear of the 600 calls popped up the next year and said, we talked to 600 and got 30. Then we did not do anything that year. Then crazy us again, we came back the other year and felt we needed to do it. We had now lost them to someone else who had picked up the product, and the person who had picked up the product was a participant among the 30. So she went with all our customers that we had the other time. And we had also now lost her as a customer because now she had a product. You get? So you lose the customer with your customers because we took a break. Then we started afresh. So to handle that fear, we had that product this year on Women's Day. I had to make sure I go before divinity and said, God, give me a theme for next year before I give up. So the theme for March next year came out already. So we made sure the flyer is out before the other butterflies can come and start talking to me that no. Now it will happen to you in the middle of the process. That at some point, the temptation to say, ne can't him. Maybe let me try the other. Whatever you start, don't abort it from the chain. Every time you abort it, you lose that chain. And it's okay when you make a loss. It is okay. It's not scripture for you to make a loss. But it's okay when you make a loss. Why? We go back to what we said earlier, that in the story of creation, Genesis 1:1 says, in the beginning, God. Some of us, after the vision, we leave God, and then we run with our academics. Then we remember God in July. Then we come to petition God. But we were not with him. So when we go to petition, then he tells us, go back and reflect. When he tells us to go back and reflect, we say, no, that's not what he said. He just said, continue. So the understanding of the voice also is important. So that in your business, you don't start making God talk when he hasn't talked. Because it's with us believers, it's very... We don't do business in dreams. It is okay to have that dream,